she notice he's plastic? And you're sitting there going, why would you look at your boyfriend and think that even if he's looking a bit waxy, and even if he's looking a bit sweaty, it's like, you wouldn't sit there and go, I think he's turned into plastic. You have to sit there going, for Rose, that's real. And you wouldn't really think that really happens. But then my sister invents a new ending to Love Story every time she watches it. So my sister does with an unhappy ending. She rewrites it. As the credits roll, she goes, and then she woke up and she lived. And they were happily ever after.
I like the sound of your sister.
But you can't argue with it.
No,
When I was young, I used to sit there going, you can't do that. And as I get older, I think, actually,
why not?
You can do what you want with it.
You can do what you want in your own head.
Where are we now?
We're still in Cardiff.
I'm sat here trying to remember the name of this restaurant.
We had real problems finding this location.
We had real problems finding the location. Well, just because we had quite a lot to do. I mean, this sequence took a whole day. And could we find a restaurant that would close for a day for us? No.
And we wanted a restaurant that we didn't need to dress so that we could just move into, and this was pretty much there, wasn't it?
And I seem to remember, according to Elwin, the script editor, when you invent a false name for this restaurant, because you can't advertise real places, and the false name, which I can't remember, is the name of an artist who painted a very famous painting like Judith and Holofernes about decapitation. Because Mickey loses his head here.
There's a symmetry.
That's the level of detail.
So now we should talk a bit about that special effect of the core going into Mickey's face, because that was one of the special effects we kept revisiting. Do you remember?
We didn't
like. Sure about the first.
Well, we knocked off the episode and put it in, and it just didn't work, did it? No. It was a bit like his face was made of water. Oh, that's my boyfriend's favourite bit with a man's scream. Yeah. He loves that.
This was such a complicated sequence as well to film. Because it's the whole... That was a stuntman with a green hood on, and we took his head off in post-production, and the mill built his neck up.
And his arm.
But certain bits of this sequence, again, this is the stuntman again, but the little bits of it earlier in the sequence that we had a small actor in a prosthetic that was built up around his shoulder. There's obviously Chris is clutching a prosthetic version of Mickey's head there.
And so we're coming to the first reveal of the interior TARDIS.
I love this scene.
Oh, it's so marvellous. We talked endlessly.
Where's that yard?
This yard is at the back of the hospital of Cardiff Royal Infirmary, where we filmed the pig sequence for episode 4.
And this is... I love this bit, and this is Keith Boak at his finest, because the director. Because it's not written like that. It's written as she runs in, she sees it, and the audience sees it, and then she runs back out. And Keith brilliantly held it off, and he described this to us, didn't he?
Yes.
He said, I'm going to have a walk around the TARDIS, and we almost sort of rugby tackled him and forbade him to do it.
Yeah.
When he described this, it sounds like rubbish. I was sitting there going, well, you wouldn't actually walk all the way around when your life is in danger. And it works brilliantly, I have to say.
It's really good.
We had planned to do a bigger effect on Rose's entrance into the TARDIS.
Yes.
And basically what we were going to do is use the back of her head to take us over the threshold of the TARDIS for the first time, and we ran out of time filming that on the night, because it was quite a complicated locked off shot.
And one day we must do that.
One day
control.
we
will.
Taking someone from the outside of the TARDIS to the inside of the TARDIS in one shot.
Yes.
Which still we always plan.
Talks are ongoing.
Yes.
We're still trying.
We're trying to do it in our Christmas special.
I mean, it's quite doable as an effect, but when there's 27 effects every day, then it sort of goes to the back of the list, because you can do this by cutting around it. How much do we love that set?
It's the best set I've ever seen.
There is no greater film. It's the best part of this job, walking into that studio every time you go there and seeing that TARDIS. And I just have to go on it. I have to walk up on it and touch the buttons and things. And it's so solid. That's what I love about it, that central console. You see Rose kick it in episode 13, and Dr. Chris bashes it with a hammer, and it's solid, it's absolutely real and solid. I love it.
Absolutely beautiful.
And it's actually so faithful to old TARDISes. Well, and no one told Arsted to do this. No one told him. When you think what you could have done, you could have had consoles all around the walls, and it could have been a completely different spaceship.
It's faithful but so surprising,
Yeah.
and the detail of it wanting to feel lived and living with the coral.
So now we're in London, and I think this was the first the first night shoot we did actually,
Yes.
or certainly on the first night that we shot there.
And we were just started to be followed by fans and things.
Yes,
when they started to appear in London town.
We sort of shot this sequence slightly out of order. The Rose and the Doctor are about to run over Westminster Bridge, and we shot that first, and then we moved down to this shot. That was just so that we had the time to light up the Eye, because you were about to see the London Eye, and we lit it, which was marvellous. I mean, certain lights stay on, but we
needed more.
We needed more lights.
And we also did a pickup, remember, of Rose as she steps out of the TARDIS.
Yes.
We didn't have that shot, did we?
Yes, that was done in studio, wasn't it?
We did that in studio, yeah, because that studio set has the outside TARDIS doors on the outside of the set.
Yes. And it's funny, if you look at this scene, I mean, this is like, well, basically, I think all drama should be shot like this. These lenses, those colours, it's gorgeous, but why anyone would ever shoot anything any other way?
Yeah.
I've got no idea. This is like, we were drumming this into the whole production, and you know, we must remember to keep drumming this into the whole production. It's a sort of, it's something that gets taken for granted, and actually, you can push this even further. I'd have done this on even longer lenses.
Yeah.
You know, you can reduce the longer the lens, the more those backgrounds there. You see, that's starting to get longer. The more those backgrounds get reduced to just abstract blurs and blobs of light. And I think that's the most beautiful form of television. I believe that when you're channel hopping, you stop at a beautiful picture.
Yes, I agree.
I've always fundamentally believed that. I watch programs that are rubbish. I keep on saying this to you, but I watch Ally McBeal, which I detest. But you channel hop, and it's the most beautiful picture in just about the past 10 years on television. Its lenses are stunning.
And the London Eye.
We shot this sequence over 2 nights as well, I just remembered, because the dawn started to break, and we had to then go up to Whitehall, which we were closing down, and we had a really small window of time to film on Whitehall for episode 5.
They're not our buses, are they?
Those were buses.
I love that.
Yes, we were waiting. We were waiting for a while.
Thinking, I'm on Doctor Who.
Yes, we were waiting for a while.
There were people on Doctor Who then.
So if you're on that bus, thank you very much.
And we had to London Eye were absolutely brilliant to us and lovely, but we did have to take out. There were certain references in the script, quite understandably, to Doctor obliquely referred to the Autons as like terrorists and talk of war. And actually, in fairness to them, they said, "Can you just take those out?" Because if there was a terrorist target in London, the London Eye was one of them. So they just didn't want to be associated. Now, of course, I've just got to ruin that by making that association. So.